So today's the day. Today's the day I get to finally open the washing machine. Really excited. So we've been waiting, what, 2 weeks? Something like that since our last
Feels
unboxing.
like
Sort
an
of feels like.
eternity.
And you and I still haven't worked out what we know what we're playing, we don't know what it does. And we've decided to open up my character, which is washing machine slash spiral slash, what do we just work out? Vortex.
Vortex, yeah.
Yes. So are you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
I'm ready.
Also ready? All right, cool. Let's go.
Pop this thing.
I want to say, just while we're
Oh,
opening it, the mini for this one looks sick. Like, I know you've seen it and we did the video on it, but like, I thought the mini looked really cool.
the character looks very cool.
Mm.
Okay, so this is the one that you were saying that gave the Doctor Strange vibes.
Yeah, it had like a Doctor Strange cloak, kind of looked like a Savas Doctor Strange, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a Savas Hollow Pact, which doesn't
Okay.
sound washing machine-y at all.
No.
So
All right.
I have been requested to just quickly read the bottom of this, the back of the thing. Yes, Stinky, I will do this for you. So it says, among the Craghearts, shunned Savas who failed to master any element, there are some who will stop at nothing to reach the heights of power that have been denied them by their exile. Corrupt, void-aligned Aether have recruited a power-hungry breakaway sect of Cragheart exiles and aided them to harness the reality-destroying energies of the void. Known as Hollow Packs, these renegade Savas hollowed, shattered hearts glow anew with an ominous otherworldly light. Their power can warp and unravel the life essence of their enemies. Oh, but at great personal cost to their bodies and to their sanity. Oh,
Okay, so going crazy. All right.
I
So
don't mind
it's
a bit of crazy.
another play on the. I know the Cragheart in Gloomhaven was like a one without element, right? Like it didn't have that core. That's the
Yes,
whole
that's
point of
right.
it, right? Yeah. So this is like one of those, but then has gone out to get like some like gone evil, basically.
Oh,
Well, I don't think it's evil, but it says the void a lot, and a void aligned Acer sounds bad.
no, I'm
You know,
evil. Sounds good.
yeah,
Love
you're
it.
the
Thanks,
bad guy. It's like
guys.
Magneto.
Oh, I love Magneto.
Yeah, I know. He's the
Ian
best bad
McKellen
guy because he's
Magneto.
not really bad. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
okay, cool. I mean, just from that reading and that last line, I'm getting Shackles vibes.
Okay.
I don't want
Yeah.
to talk spoilers, but just
Yep.
yeah, like just from that idea. So yeah, keen
Mm-hmm.
to see how this works.
Okay. We got 10 hand limit. I like the fact that it's just covered in pink and purple. It's my favorite kind of two colors kind of thing. So I'm definitely really excited about that. Let's have a look at this. That's right. We got the ability on the actual thing. So what do we got? We got void energy. So the Hollow Pact will accumulate and spend void energy. Okay. Which, so I'm collecting Tide Pods. Based on abilities performed. So void energy is tracked by adding or removing void energy tokens from this mat. Oh, I finally get a character that uses tokens on my mat. I didn't
Have
do
you
that.
not had one?
No, none of the characters in
Ah,
Frosthaven did that I can think
okay.
of.
Yep. Okay.
So void energy is gained immediately when performing abilities with the void energy
Tide
token symbol. Tide.
pod
Yes,
symbol.
Tide. Oh my god, it's crashing thingy.
Hmm.
These tokens can then be removed to enhance your actions or to perform abilities. Okay, so I've got a, what? Is this a spend, a generator and a spender? Sounds like it.
Sounds like it. Yeah.
You start each scenario with 0 void energy tokens. Up to a maximum of 3 void energy tokens can be accumulated and stored on this mat at any time. Okay, that sounds cool. Void energy is harmful to store in excess. At the end of each of your turns, suffer muddle if you have 2 or more tokens on this mat, and suffer wound if you have 3. Oh, so it's a generate and spend. spend. Okay, that's pretty cool. So the places for the actual tokens, so I suppose at the end, if they are covered, I will cop those conditions. Void Sight. You have Void Sight abilities, which allow you to reveal the top 2 cards of your attack modifier deck. You may then place one of these cards on the bottom of the deck and the rest on top in any order. Oh my god, I've got the hat.
That's basically for me, right? Like this is the best character ever for me because I can just take the miss off the top of the deck and put it on the bottom.
Yeah, my bad. Well, that's what happens. That
Very
sounds
good.
really cool. I like it.
Yeah.
Health-wise, it's like super weird. I'm used to Frosthaven health. I can't remember Gloomhaven health, but
7, 8, 9, 10.
It looks like medium health, but then the maximum for medium and frosthaven is 20. So this goes from 7 all the way to 17.
What's the lowest health?
Starting level 1, 6.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's like 6, 8, and then I think drifter's like 10.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this
So-
is up by ones all the way, except for that one, two breaks. So yeah. Okay, cool. 10 cards, low health, chance to muddle and wound yourself all the time if you don't spend all your shit.
It's not that bad. It could be. Imagine if it was a chance to stun myself. That'd be way worse.
Imagine.
I'm really happy so far. I'm really excited. All right, let's have a look at ability cards. Do you want to tell me what my milestone is, guys?
Sure. Perform Void Sight while you have at least one Void Energy token 10 times. When all boxes are marked, go there and enter the password PIT.
Perform Void Sight while you have at least one energy token 10 times. Okay, so Void Sight is that thing that says you have Void Sight abilities, which allow you to reveal. So it must be tied to the cards.
Yeah.
That'll have Void Sight on them. So I've got Tide Pods and I've got Void Sight. It's two things to look, symbols look for out on the cards. Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah. No idea how this is going to look yet. Let's look at the first card we've got here. So we have Borrowed Vitality. It goes at a 37. I'm already upset. Heal 3 self. I like it. You may cause one adjacent ally to suffer 2 damage. I like it. To add +2. So I'm mooching off you. And then gain 2 Tide Pods. I love it. Done. So yeah. Heal myself 5. And look, one of you guys just helping me out.
Yeah.
And it's a top. Don't know how I feel about that. I mean, no, I'm okay with that.
Meant to heal 5 top is pretty good. And gaining 2 Tide Pods, I mean, imagine that they're going to be pretty useful.
Yeah, we think, right? But I'm starting to wonder, like, because you got to use them, so therefore there may be a negative connotation to also using them, tied to some cards, almost like a mandatory thing. I'm not 100% sure, which is why we're going to keep going. So move 3 on the bottom, and then if we consume dark, so we got a dark element, cool. Heal 2, self, regenerate. Okay. Wow, I like that. Okay, so that's my heal card.
The regen as well there looks like it's important because that means that you have the chance of sitting at 3 Tide Pods and not worrying about the wound.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a way around that, potentially. So regen on this character might be a bit more useful. It has extra uses. So
totally. But that would mean I'd have to have 3 tokens on my board, right? That's the wound one. Muddle's 2.
The wound one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, it's a good question. Just to go back to the details, we're going backwards already. Do you gain both or just what's there?
I think it goes from I think it works from top to bottom. And I think you always have to place them like that, unless you can put them anywhere, but that would make no sense.
I just say you suffer muddle if you have 2 or more tokens on this mat, and suffer wound if you have 3 or more.
Okay.
So I'm wondering if it's either wound or muddle, depending if you've got 2 or 3. So I'll have to check that into the FAQ.
Yeah, check the off.
Cool. All right. Next card. Channel the Void. It goes into 88. There you go. There you go. Good late one for you.
Yeah. I like that.
You can play that with your 37. So you and all adjacent figures suffer 1 damage.
I love this character.
I know. This is it. Maybe you are just the boss, right? Like, gain a Tide Pod. You may disarm 1 adjacent trap or destroy 1 adjacent obstacle. If you do, gain another Tide Pod and get an XP.
Cool.
Okay. Interesting as a top.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's adjacent figures, so it is enemies as well. So it is potentially offensive, right? Like, it's not just only hurt your friends.
We'll see. But yeah.
And then the bottom is an attack. Okay, cool. We're just all backwards in this character, right?
I'm
bottom
confused.
Is an attack 1 with wound. If you eat 2 Tide Pods, you get +2 to your attack and an XP.
2 Tide Pods. Wow, you're right, guys. That synergizes perfectly with the first card.
So I mean, look, that's I guess essentially in that year, you're looking at just those 2 cards. But so far our basis of a exchange rate is 2 Tide Pods equal +2 attack. So that's probably be interesting to see how we go, if that's like higher or lower, if it's about that, like 1 per attack. So interesting.
I'm always excited when I see an attack on the bottom. it just depends on what character I'm playing. If I'm playing something tanky and upfront, then of course I love it. But, you know, I haven't worked out if I'm squishy yet. We have Innovating Strike. Goes at a 25. That's fine. Attack 2 on top. And if we eat a Tide Pod, 1 only, we can add Muddle and Poison, which is pretty cool. Seems fairly easy. And then, yeah, Heal 2 Self. I like that. So it's an attack 2, heal 2, and then, I mean, it sounds like Tide Pods are easy to make. So, yeah, should always be able to poison and muddle something and get some XP. And then the bottom, move forward with jump. Fantastic. I do have jump issues with previous characters, so I'm glad that I have a one staring at me. You and all adjacent figures will suffer 2 damage and then gain 2 Tide Pods and 2 XP. It's a burn. Ooh, I like that card. I like that burn.
It's probably not fixing your movement issues.
What do you mean?
It's a burn.
Yeah.
It fixes it for one turn.
Technically, I should never, ever hit any of you with that.
I mean, technically, I will think we need this as a soundbite, and next time in the first turn when it happens, the first scenario, we'll go, yep, cool.
Yeah, I really, I like that card. I don't mind it at all. It's nice to actually have a top attack as well. It's the first one we've seen.
All right, next one is Find an Opening. It goes at a 15. Now we're talking. Here you go, lightning speed.
Ooh.
Attack 3. This attack ignores all retaliate damage.
Yeah, boy.
I think I can hear the sound of Phil crying.
Just crying. No, he doesn't know the mob has the retaliate, so...
That's true. You wouldn't even know, right? All right. And then it also, if you eat a Tide Pod, it gets pierced 2.
That's pretty cool.
And you get an XP. That's pretty cool. That's a cool attack. Yeah. And then the bottom, our first Void Sight.
Oh, yes.
All right. So Void Sight, which just means you get to look at the top. So it's an ability within itself, isn't it? Like you look at the top 2 and then you can put one of them on the bottom, I think it is.
Yeah. Top 2 cards in your attack modifier deck, you may place one of these cards on the bottom of the deck and the rest on top in any order. The rest. Okay. You may also place one of these at the bottom.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So it's in any order. Yeah. All right. And then the rest of it is all allies add +1 attack to all attacks targeting enemies that are adjacent to you or a void pit obstacle this round. I don't even know what a void pit is.
I don't care. I'm doing it. Whatever that is. Heaps of those.
All right. Targeting enemies that are adjacent to you. Okay, cool. All right. So you do that and everyone gets +1 attack, plus you get to look at your cards. So
bit of cycle. I really like that. I like that it's not just this buff down the bottom. I like the fact that even if I'm using this to benefit all allies and I may not get a benefit from it, I'm still cycling through my AMD. And it helps me prepare for the turns because of the whole Void Side mechanic.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, yeah, and I guess the Void Sight is like a pseudo advantage in a way, right? Because you can have a look and minimize the damage. Like if you have a big attack that you're going to throw out there and you don't have advantage, right? You're just pulling one. You can have a look and guarantee what the next card is. Right, so it's like you don't have to worry about those items that you tap just so that you hit, right? It's not giving you going to increase your damage. It's definitely going to make sure that you don't miss, unless you got curses and shit, right? So, it's interesting. But I think I see why people were saying this is not a character for me because you're also going to give yourself muddle heaps. You've got 2 Tide Pods, then you get muddle. So that's probably where this, interesting.
The other thing also is because of the Void Sight mechanic. I'm wondering whether or not this character's got an incredibly spicy, maybe restrictive, maybe conditional AMD.
Yeah, true.
Like a really spiky one? Yeah, where it's like, if something's in a certain position or if it's got a certain thing, and that's why Void Sight is helping me get to the exact one I need, for a certain attack. It'd be interesting to see. We have Nether Blades. Void Sight. Goes at a 55, so relatively bin. Void Sight, just straight up Void Sight, and then we do an attack 2. So I get to Void Sight before I make this attack, which is kind of cool. Attack 2 in a formation that looks like it's hitting my 45-degree angles on either side. It's an attack 2, and I'm gaining a Tide Pod for each enemy targeted. I like that it's Tide Pod now. It's just automatically 100%. Tide Pod. I actually couldn't tell you what it was. What is it
void
actually?
thing, void washing machine.
I think this is some boring like a void token. Ooh.
Yeah. Ugh. What's cool about this is that it's not if you hit both of them, you get one. Because there was a character, maybe even a couple, from Frosthaven where it was like conditional that you generate your resource if you can hit both. But I like this. This is you get one for each, which means that you can use this as just a single target attack and hit, and also gain that benefit. So
Yeah. No, that's cool. The bottom is just a move 2. If I consume a Tide Pod, teleport 4 instead.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That's awesome. I also have never played with a teleport, so this is going to be great.
No movement problems for you.
Oh, let's not get ahead of ourselves. What was I checking? It was eating dark before. Okay, so it is dark because I'm seeing a lot of the X's are a little bit on the thick side and the symbols are quite dark. So I was just wondering whether or not the earlier one that we saw was a Tide Pod, but it is dark.
It was dark. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And that one's also a generator as well, so that's good. I think that's the first generator I've seen.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Next one is Reaching Darkness. So this is goes at a 79. So again, we're kind of at the later end, which is good. An attack 2, range 5. Jesus Christ. Okay.
But it's not only range 5, which is something I've been kind of used to lately. Anyway, it's a different joke. Gemini.
Okay. Yeah, it's not exactly range 5 yet. And then create dark and create a Tide Pod. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nice,
clean.
easy generator. Yeah.
Good range.
And then the bottom, you won't have a problem getting that one off. The bottom, one enemy within range 5 suffers 2 damage. You may eat a Tide Pod to teleport to any hex adjacent to that enemy and perform attack 2 with stun, create dark, gain an XP.
Yeah.
It is a burn.
Oh, really?
Right. But look, again, so that's basically a range 5 teleport. Actually, it could be range 6 because if you hit something at range 5, you can teleport to the other side of them. Which again is really cool, and it's a bottom, so you're not like you can go into that place and then do some attacks and some cool shit that way. Plus, you get to do some stuns and
Tide Pod for a guaranteed stun basically. Like there's no world where this doesn't reach unless literally there's 7 or 8 hexes away. But no, I like it. Gives him the movement as well. The teleport's fantastic. There's an attack in there as well. It's not just stun, XP, and dark generation. Give it to me. Well done.
The pure damage is interesting as well. I'm pretty sure that the rules, especially from Gloomhaven, are that if it dies, you can't do the rest of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably, yeah. Because it's one, and I'm picking my focus, I guess, which is that one enemy. But the pure damage is also controllable. Like I know where 2 damage is going. So I don't have to. Yeah. Cool.
Like it.
Yep. So far, I've liked every card I've seen. I think they're interesting. I'm ready to be told that.
Picking only 10.
Oh, well, yeah, okay. So, Touch of the Void goes at a 29. Void Side again on top, and then attack 1 with stun. Just there you go.
It's a random stun.
So far, I think all 3 characters now that we've seen, just like, I can stun like fairly easily. What up?
It's because we've forgotten that Gloomhaven. Everything is busted.
Attack 1 start. Eat a Tide Pod for +1 to the attack. Create dark XP. Yeah, that's I like that. No, the stun makes it really good, like ridiculously good.
The interesting thing with that is that we're still on that kind of ratio of 1 Tide Pod for 1 attack because the other one was 2 for 2 attack. But you need to do this to generate the dark. So there might even be times because you don't maybe really care about the +1 attack, but you might be doing it to generate the dark along with your void sight. So yeah.
The bottom is a heal 7 at range 1, and then take a wound and a poison. Whew. And then XP, and then it's a burn. It's a fat heal. It's a good emergency heal. But take it out.
Range 1.
Range 1, yeah.
So you can do it on other people.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh, okay. It's emergency. I mean, you can do it on yourself as well, right?
Like I could, but I think everyone in our team requires heals every now and then, and I'm happy to provide.
Yeah, are you? I don't think that's... Look, again, another soundbite. Everybody needs heals, and I'm happy to provide. Said no Detty ever.
Happy to provide the pure DPS of all allies adjacent to take 1 damage, etc.,
That's
etc.
it. That's it.
No, I like that card.
Yeah.
Again,
Seems good.
find me a card I don't
mean,
like, guys.
The top of that card, right, is pretty hard not to take when it's just like stun something.
100%.
Like, yeah.
And I think the Tide Pods themselves also seem really easy to get.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, yeah, it's interesting though because you take those negative effects at the end of your turn, so you kind of want to generate them and spend them in the same turn, which is maybe where the balance is going to be.
Totally.
Although you can keep one, right? You can keep one without overvoiding. Yeah. Or avoiding it. Get it?
Laugh track. Where is it? I don't have it.
Oh, okay. I was waiting for it. All right. Untethered Advance. It goes at a 46, so this is almost right in the bin. The worst possible initiative.
It's pretty bad.
Attack 3. It's kind of hitting either side of you this time. So rather than at 90 degrees, or 45, whatever you said, it's now at, I don't know, 180.
One in the front, one in the back.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You can't say that. We're not M-rated. All right. So it's attack 3. Eat a Tide Pod to add 1 to the attack, which is pretty cool on a multi-target hit.
Yeah.
And then eat Dark to move 2. Cool.
Yeah.
I like that has a move after as well. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then the bottom is just a move 3. You may disarm 1 adjacent trap or destroy 1 adjacent obstacle. If you do, gain a Tide Pod.
What is it with traps and obstacles that I'm suddenly being tasked with?
I mean, the Craig Hart was the obstacle guy, right? Like he was like creating and destroying obstacles. And I feel like some of the other Savas that we've encountered have also played in that area. So it's interesting that trap is one that we haven't seen, like the traps interacting with them. So this kind of maybe adds that for a little bit of spice. So I'm still waiting to find out what this void pit is.
Very good point. Totally forgot it existed. We have Void Step. Goes at a 20. Teleport 2. On top, by the way. Teleport 2. Attack 2. Tide Pod. +1 to the attack. XP. They're good.
So
like these basic level 1s are great.
I mean, being able to move or teleport before an attack, or with the last card after attack, is like really strong. Like it's so much flexibility.
Yeah, just like the last one. And then the bottom is suffer 1 damage and gain a Tide Pod. And then I can consume it, or consume a Tide Pod to teleport 4. I've got so much movement. This is great. Hopefully we have nothing but escape scenarios. Like the whole campaign is just escape. Escape Crimson Scale.
And you don't have to do the top part, right? Because those dotted lines mean if you had pods, you could just eat 1 to teleport 4 without having to take a damage.
Are you talking about the bottom?
Yeah, sorry. The bottom part
got you. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Because it's not tied together, meaning you're not always just playing this card and having to neck yourself. So
no.
Interesting.
Love it.
All right. So again, I think by now, after 8 cards in or so, we can definitely say you shouldn't have any problems moving around.
We've got that recorded. Yes,
we have that recorded.
I will never struggle.
If you ever say, "Oh, I can't move anywhere," I'll just play that on the recording. All right, Withering Deluge.
Sure,
that's a D, right? Yeah, okay.
I think so.
All right, it's a burn. It goes at 47. The top, sorry, it goes at 47.
That's worse than the other card you were reading before that you were bidding.
Even closer to the bin, yeah. So it is at the top is a burn. It's an attack 3 with a wound on 2 targets. That's pretty cool. And then if you eat 2 Tide Pods, you get +2 attack. So a burn for an attack 5 on 2 targets on a very easy formation to hit, right? Like just 2 next to you. And wound is pretty good.
I'm a big fan of these formations. They all seem like not difficult.
Yeah. So, and especially on your burn, you don't want it to be tricky. You want to be able to get that value. So, yeah, attack 5 on 2 targets with wound on a burn. Not bad.
An average of 12 damage?
An average of 12 damage. And you probably shouldn't miss because you can void sight yourself so you know what's going on.
We'll see. I should never miss on this character, right? The first
You
time it
should
happens.
never ever miss or have any movement problems. Correct.
Oh no.
Um, I mean, you're gonna have muddle half your life, so maybe. But all right, you may create a void pit. This is the bottom.
There it is.
You may create a void pit obstacle in an empty hex within range 2 and gain a tide pod. Then move 3. Well, not then, sorry.
Right.
It also allows you to move 3. Cool. So we don't have any way of interacting with them other than that card earlier that was like do damage,
Plus
plus
one
one
attack to
allies.
all, allies.
All attacks targeting enemies that are adjacent to you or a void pit. So that's cool because it means if you can throw a couple of these things out at different places, you can play that card and it's people next to you, but also next to the pit. So you have a
Yeah.
bit more flexibility. You don't have to be right up like next to everyone.
Yeah. Oh, I misread the void side. The bottom of find an opening, because I misread it as all allies plus one attack to all attacks targeting enemies that are adjacent to you. I didn't see the U bit. I just thought it was just void pit obstacles. So yes, thank you. That is handy.
Yeah, so good. No, Withering Deluge. Good.
Yeah, the Withering D.
The Withering Day.
That's one's done. All right, let's get spicy. Let's go into the X's. Greed before need. That doesn't sound like me. Loot 1 goes at a 33. Loot 1. One adjacent enemy suffers 1 damage. If they do, gain a tide pod. Okay. Loot on top is fine. I'm fine with that. 1 pure damage is fine. Like, no, I'm already satisfied with a loot up top. But the bottom, move 3, change an element into dark. Clean. It's not like a class defining card, like a lot of the X cards sometimes are. But yeah, it's fine.
This is what you want for your generic X card because you can definitely see some scenarios that you go, yes, I'm going to bring it because the loot is handy. And having the bottom there is also a get out of like, oh shit, how do we stop the monsters using an element? Oh, I've got a solution for that.
Well, yes, I'm looking up at some of the dark generating options, and some of them are burns and require tide pods for attacks and things like that. So I think having something that like another option to convert an element is probably going to be more handy than I'm realizing, just based on what I'm seeing already.
Next we have Hollow Embrace, which goes at a 53, so it's the other side of the bin. So just as bad as the 47, but just a little bit over that side.
Okay, thank you.
So you got lots of bin and initiatives. One adjacent ally may perform attack 2, range 2, targeting 2 with wound. Okay, settle down, person next to you. If they do gain a tide pod, that ally suffers 1 damage per enemy attacked. Okay, cool. But still, that's really cool.
It is. It's interesting. That's like the sort of card that I'm a bit like, huh, interesting. Like, I might go a full allies build. Any card that had the word allies on it.
Okay.
So all allies suffer damage, but you can heal an ally. Like a little bit of everything. I'm going to walk around like a slot machine and you never know what's going to happen. You may take damage, you may get healed.
I mean, it does... yeah, I suppose finding a way for this to synergize with find an opening because the top and bottom, right? Because the void site, the bottom of find an opening is attacking things that are next to you or a void pit. So, I mean, you have to be next to them as well. So there's kind of some weird juggling there. But there is a world where, you know, if they're next to a void pit and you can get this on them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The +1 to it, and then they still get their turn as well if they're attacking as well with the +1s. So
yeah,
I don't mind it. Thank you.
I think granting allies attacks is generally pretty good if, especially, I mean, this is a bit better than just normal because they're getting 2 attacks, right? That's kind of where that goes above the curve. If it's just like they may do 1 attack for 2, then you're probably not taking it. But doing the 2 attacks is good. And if you find someone that has like a really good AMD or some kind of benefits to attacking is usually a bit better, that's where you can start getting good value. So, and then the bottom, a heal 2, range 3, eat dark to or consume dark to do +1 heal and regenerate on that person. So essentially heal 3 at range 3 with regen. Again, if you're going your full ally build, there you go.
Yeah, okay. I'm noticing a lack of burns.
You only got 10
There's definitely
cards.
some,
Mm.
but and I'm not even upset. Like I'm happy, but yeah, interesting. I think that's a card I may play around with, and I actually it's weird because we're starting at level 1, so I can't see level 2 and level 3 to sort of piece things together a little bit. I'm
Yeah.
kind of just going blind, so that's gonna be the part that scares me.
Well,
The
I mean, like,
last
you don't, at least you don't have to make decisions with these ones because you just can keep changing them, right? So,
100%. Last of all, we have one with nothingness. This goes at a 31. It has Void Sight again on top. Invisible. Yep. Perfect. Love it. And disarm. Whoa. Self. Okay. So I like that. I see that in some games where in a pinch the character can go invis, but then it can't actually attack. Like it can't take advantage of it. It's more of an escape or repositioning or something like that. Create dark, eat a tide pod, and get an XP.
generate a
So,
type. You don't have to eat one.
oh yeah, okay. I'll generate it instead. I choose to generate it. And there, the bottom's in the move 3, and if we eat a tide pod, I can teleport. Move 3, teleport 2, then muddle self. Is that how I'm reading that?
Yep. Well, it's
Wow.
a move 3, and
Yeah.
then you also have the option of eating a tide pod to then teleport 2.
And not muddle myself?
Yeah, that's weird.
Do I want muddle?
I, d- I don't know. Like, yeah, like we'll wait for the comments to tell us that we're reading that card wrong. But I was pretty sure that it was clarified in the comments last time that the dots mean that that's an optional thing.
Yeah, it's and normally when you see exclamation marks or something like that, it's more of a mandatory thing.
Yeah.
Like you
Hey,
need to
maybe
do
there's something
this.
later on that's like, hey, if you've got muddle, you don't have muddle, right?
Have super strengthen.
Yeah, have like a super advantage.
Okay. So we got our
Yeah,
invis. We've got a lot of void sight, which is really cool. So I should never miss. Plenty of movement, a lot of self heal. We've got some CC in there. We've got utility things like trap removal and obstacles. A few ally helping cards. I like it. I'm really, really liking what I'm seeing.
yeah. It
Mm,
doesn't seem like you're gonna have a lot of really big turns. Like it's not gonna be like a super high damage all the time. It does definitely look like you're gonna have to find your flow because when you attack, a lot of the cards that attack want you to consume Tide Pods, one or two. And so there's going to be this kind of positioning to get yourself there, generate them, and then spend them, right? So that you can kind of, so it's potentially more bursty than it is going to be consistent
mm,
um, and position. But it looks like you've got a lot of movement, which is really important when you kind of like want to hit at the right time.
mm.
And also some good range. So yeah, it does look pretty flexible.
Yeah, I was just looking through also the initiatives, and the latest ones we're looking at is the 79 and then 88. That's it. We've got a lot around the 50s, so and 30s and all of that. So yeah, okay. I was gonna say initiative weaving could be really cool with the teleports and getting in and out, landing stuns, all that kind of stuff. I don't know if I can weave right now.
Yeah. All right. AMD.
AMD. All right, what do we got here?
All right.
Minus
Do you want to read it out?
ones. All right. Replace minus ones with heal self cards, which is
Kill
nice.
two.
Yeah, heal till. Yeah, of course. That's the
I
only way
mean,
to
that's
do it.
good.
I
That's
mean,
good, right?
one is good, but this is better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Replace my plus zeros with void sight cards. Wow, they're in the AMD. So it comes out, and then I can void sight after the attack, I assume, to prepare for another
Okay.
one.
That's cool. So if you were to void sight before an attack, say you're doing a multi attack, right? You void sight, have a look, and go, great, cool. Well, I'm going to put one card to the bottom. I'm going to put my void sight to the top. Then you draw that for your actual attack, right? Hit, and then you get to look at your next two to make sure that the follow up attack works. So yeah, there's
Mm.
kind of a little bit of going that way. Yeah, cool.
Add one -2. Create Earth card and 2+2 dark cards.
Is that like a
Minus
throw? Is that
two
like a throw to like the
Crag
lore
Heart.
around Savas? Like, because
Maybe.
they're earthy, right? Like that's generally so. Maybe because you're so like disconnected from the earth type thing, you're generating earth, but it's like a weaker attack, kind of because you've
Yeah.
moved
I
yourself
like
away
that.
from. Hmm.
That's cool. I'm just trying to think why Earth. I get the why Earth thing, but we haven't seen any cards that synergize with Earth, and we've got one card that can change element into dark.
Mm.
I'm curious if Earth ones are going to start flying at me
Maybe
later
it's
on.
just maybe they just wanted to have a negative, like, because this is a risk reward thing, right? Like, if you are using Void Sight, fine, then you will never have to worry about this -2. If you're really bad at muddle and not having, like, if you have muddle all the time, having the -2 in there sucks.
Yeah,
And maybe the grass on that just makes it like a little bit of extra kicker, so it's not just add one -2. At least it's
yeah.
an element there that someone could potentially use. So
Well, the other interesting thing about that line is also it's like you're adding a -2 and then two +2
yeah,
cards, and there's two of them,
see,
which means I'm going to
yeah,
have
so you
5 +2s in the deck.
that's right. So yeah, you are netting one, but in again in a you have muddle all the time world, it doesn't matter because you will always like yeah, yeah. So
Hmm.
interesting.
My replace
I
minus
see.
one with a -2 stun card. Nice. And a +0 void side card again. Okay.
So that's three. You can no five, right? Because you can get two from the first two ticks and another one there. So you could have 5 +0 void sites.
Yeah, okay. Like that.
Yeah.
Wait. No, above that, it's only one void site. So this is now 3.
Oh, replace two zeros with one. Oh, okay. So
Hmm.
you're okay. You're reducing your deck down. Yeah. Okay. So it'd be three total. Okay.
Hmm. We've got replace one -2 with a +0. Oh, so that's the original -2 going out with a +0 disarm card and a -1 create any element card. That's cool. Annoyed with the well, no, that's the disarm on them. That's not on me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Why are you laughing?
Because I love it. It's like, all right, add one -2 and then gain two +2s. Oh, now I'm going to have two -2s in there. All right, replace one -1 with a -2. Oh, no, I'm going to have an extra -2. Now replace one of the original -2s with a 0. So it's like you have this place where if you do that one first and only that one, you have no -2s, right? But then you're going to get more -2s as you go.
It's good thing that I can look at the deck,
Yeah.
the top 2 cards. Replace -1 with a rolling modifier +1 tide and one rolling -1 curse card. Okay. Rolling curse, rolling tide. Yeah, that's cool. I expected a bit more tide generation, but that's fine. Replace two
You probably don't want
+1s.
too much because that's potentially at the end of your turn, and if you
Yeah,
generate too much, you're gonna have some and then just gain wound or muddle. Like
that's a
it
good point. You
make
don't
it
have the
really
control.
yeah.
Yeah, unless you use void sight. Replace two +1s with 1+3 regenerate self card. Replace the
Shut the
two
front door.
+1s. Yeah, okay.
Ooh, okay. So your deck is going to be absolutely completely different to what it starts out to be.
Well, we called it. It's gonna be spicy. It's gonna be all
Like
over the place.
like most characters end up with this weird, like, oh, I can get rid of all my -1s, and a couple of my zeros if I can really optimize, plus a bunch of text cards which generate shit. Yours is gonna be like every card is different.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm just so excited. Replace a +0 card with a +1. Create a void pit in an enemy empty hex within range 2. Cool. I like that. I wish it was rolling though. And then ignore scenario effects and add a +0 ward self card. Oh, give it a
I see.
ward.
Okay.
Mate, I love this. I'm really excited. Like, really, really, really excited. It doesn't feel like initially, it doesn't feel hoopy. And I think
Yeah.
that's probably the thing that I'm appreciating the most about this is that I feel like I can approach every situation maybe slightly differently depending on what I need, not have to jump through hoops that I've most recently been jumping through.
I think that's a really good call because the void sight works unconditionally,
Yeah.
and the bonus from the eating the tide pods is to raise the ceiling on the power level. So we've talked about this in the past about complexity being is it just playable, and then is it complex to make sure that your efficiency goes up. So like once you start working out kind of the flow and how it goes, that's where things get harder, but then you're kind of rewarded for it rather than the
Mm,
difficulty just being up here just to have a turn.
mm.
I feel like this is going to be easy enough for you to figure out how to just play cards, right? And because you're going to have things just going off like your moves and your teleports and your void sites and stuff like that. But then once you kind of get your rhythm going and you work out your card combinations, because there's some of them that you're going to generate a bunch and then want to get rid of it straight away, or generate one and then generate another one the next turn to eat two, that kind of stuff, so you don't get stuck with the muddle or the wound.
Yeah, yeah. I like the whole tide. I keep calling it tide. What is it? It's a void
Tide
energy token.
Don't
Tide
change
pod.
it now. We've spent the whole
Oh
thing
no.
recording saying Tide Pod. You can't try and correct yourself now.
Okay. But I like the fact that it's got the things on the board. There's 3 of them there, and I've seen it quite a few times in our Frosthaven campaign. But it's now different enough because it's not about build them up and then spend them when you're ready. It's more like build them up, but also if you don't spend them, enjoy the bad things that are going to be ticking along. It's
They're
different
called
enough.
void energy tokens. If you want to add that in at any point,
The void energy token. That's Tide Pod.
Tide Pod. Yeah.
No, perfect. Very, very happy.
I'm jealous. We're now 3 from 3. Right, I think we've had 3 good characters. I know, and now we're going to do mine next.
They're all going to be good, dude. They're all going to be good.
Okay. Well, I mean,
100%.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, we will. Well, thank you. Thank you for coming along. We will guys get this painted, and looking forward to seeing Savast Doctor Strange.
Yep.
All right, we'll catch you around. Thank you very much for joining us. Bye.
Bye.